What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to my new little office here in Bali. We recently moved into a new villa and I've just been trying to get everything set up. I painted this wall green, put in some shelving, and I think it looks pretty sleek so far. But just as I was about to put the finishing touches on the design, Instagram dropped an absolute heater of an update. And in this video, I want to talk a little bit about the update and also what I think some of the implications of this update are for the photography community. Now, you might have heard of this update already because everyone within the photography community seems to be chatting about it, but I thought I'd take a few minutes to share my perspective on the upcoming feed changes to Instagram, what I think they mean for the photography community at large, and why I don't actually think that they're all that bad like everyone is saying they are. So in short, last week, Adam Mosseri, who's the head of Instagram, posted a reel stating that Instagram is going to start testing feeds that allow users to post 9:16 truly vertical images. So images that cover the top to the bottom of the screen, just like the orientation of Instagram Reels. So let's briefly hear what he had to say about that.
At the beginning of the year, I talked about how important video and messaging was to the future of Instagram. We're moving Instagram to a place where video is a bigger part of the home experience, where the content is more immersive, takes up more of the screen, where a larger part of feed are recommendations, things we think you might love but you might not have heard of yet, and where you have more control over the experience. One step on that path we're starting to experiment with this week, which is a test where both photos and videos take up more of your screen. We know the future of video and the future of photos are mobile first. They are 9:16, they are immersive. And so what you'll see is us testing out taller photos and taller videos in your feed. So we're gonna try and learn as much as we can over these next few weeks. If you see it, that's what you're seeing, that's why. We're trying to figure out how to advance Instagram forward in a world where more and more people are gonna be mobile first. Hopefully you like it. See you next week.
So yeah, in short, like he said, we're soon going to be able to post truly vertical 9:16 format images that take up more real estate of the screens on our phones. Now, when this news first dropped, to be honest, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. I just thought to myself, okay, great, another Instagram change, another update, and I just can't keep up with all these things. There's so much happening. But it wasn't until I actually opened the app yesterday and saw that my Instagram feed had actually updated to the new design that I realized the true impact that this is going to have on the photography community if this update does indeed go through, which I do think that it will. This new design totally caught me off guard, as it's actually a massive change to the basic Instagram feed, which hasn't changed in years. The new feed basically has each post on your feed on its own page, so just like the Reels feed. So instead of a fluid feed where you can just perpetually scroll down smoothly and see all the images, as well as a few top comments, and you can just scroll down to what seems like one long page. Now each post takes up the full real estate of your phone from top to bottom, and one swipe will bring you into the next piece of content. That piece of content could be a reel, or it could be a vertical photo. Now, because of this, images posted in a 4:5 crop ratio, which is what most photographers post on Instagram, now have cropped space on the top and the bottom of the photo. And in all honesty, it looks absolutely terrible. It doesn't look good at all. For years now, the vertical crop limit on Instagram has been 4:5, which is a little bit taller than a square. And for the most part, this has been the gold standard within the photography community. And typically, landscape photos posted on Instagram just do not perform as well as images cropped in a 4:5 vertical aspect ratio, as these vertical images simply just take up more real estate on the screen of your phone. And it's just a more immersive experience for the viewer. So myself and many other photographers, maybe even you who post frequently on Instagram, post pretty much all of our images in a 4:5 format. In fact, many photographers I know have trained themselves to shoot vertically in order to make sure that they're fitting this 4:5 crop, myself included. In fact, I didn't shoot landscape photos for years when I was shooting primarily for Instagram. And I had to force myself to shoot landscape orientation images that I could post on other platforms or for clients. And I had to retrain myself because it took me years to get back into that creative mindset of how do I compose a shot in a landscape orientation, because I compose pretty much all of my images in a vertical or a portrait aspect ratio. Now, one response I often hear to this statement is something along the lines of, you know, Sean, you really shouldn't let a social media platform dictate your artistic style. You should create stuff that you want to create. Don't let a massive corporation like Instagram dictate your artistic vision. You're letting them squeeze you, and you should just do your own thing. And honestly, I totally get that. I totally understand where those people are coming from. And I would say, yeah, you know what? Honestly, you're correct in some ways. But many photographers have made a name for themselves through platforms like Instagram and other forms of social media, myself included. Platforms like Instagram are really important for the success of many creators, and many of our online creative communities exist there as well. So of course, it's in our best interest as content creators, as photographers, to conform to the best practices of Instagram in order to stay relevant and continue to grow our businesses. So creatively speaking, platforms like Instagram do certainly affect our creative style quite a bit. And that's why many photographers like you and I have already adapted to this, and we already shoot most of our content vertically because of the 4x5 crop gold standard. Now, because of this, if this update does indeed go forward, I think we're going to see more and more photographers posting truly vertical 9x16 photos. And this is something we've never really seen before, and it's going to be a big change. And I think it's going to have some pretty big implications for the photography community. And it's also going to change the way we shoot as well. Now, even if you resist these changes, even if you're like, you know what, I'm not going to let these people press me down. I'm going to do my own artistic thing. I'm going to post whatever I want. That's fine. But if you're working as a professional photographer for brands with a social media presence, you're still going to be impacted by this. Brands are going to want more vertical imagery for their social media pages. So it trickles down into the photography community, whether we like it or not. This new 9x16 crop is going to quickly become the new gold standard for photos on Instagram in the very near future if this update does indeed stick. It's just the natural progression of things, and it seems like the logical next step for Instagram. So those are the changes that we can expect, and those are the implications that I think are going to come from this update. But the question still stands, what does this mean for the photography community? Is this a negative thing? I think generally speaking, the sentiment in the photography community is quite low right now. People are upset that Instagram is just changing things so fast. They came out with that update a few months ago where they said Instagram is no longer a photo sharing platform. So photographers feel a bit burnt out, a bit left out. And I understand why the sentiment is generally negative. And while I totally understand how those photographers feel and why they feel that way, I don't necessarily see it the same way. I personally don't think that this change is inherently negative for photographers. It's just a change. It is what it is. It's inevitable. Instagram is changing at a lightning fast pace, and it's our job to keep up with it if we want to maintain our relevancy on the platform. We can sit and sulk and dwell on this all we want, but if we want photography to maintain relevance going forward, we're going to have to adapt our artistic process to fit the needs and the expectations of our viewers. I think this change also brings some really interesting creative opportunities for us as photographers as well. When Reels first came out, I completely tuned them out because I felt like they took a lot from the platform, and I felt like it just generalized Instagram and made it this really quick dopamine hit kind of platform that it wasn't before. I was like the grumpy old Instagram grandpa complaining about the new changes. And I know a lot of other people felt the same way. But then I realized that there really is a ton of creative opportunity with these short form vertical videos. And I started to explore this a bit, and I actually found them quite fun, and they're easy to create as well. So it did become kind of a fun creative outlet for me, and I tried to see it optimistically. I feel the exact same way moving into the 9x16 crop. I think it's going to be fun experimenting with a different crop form that we aren't used to. And I've already started looking through my portfolio and identifying images that I think might look good with this truly vertical 9x16 crop. Ultimately, creative change is good, especially when it pushes us as artists. I think we're going to continue to see a lot of negative sentiment coming from the photography community about this new update. And while I most certainly understand this viewpoint, I think it's also a great opportunity for us to experiment with something new. Who knows, maybe we'll even like it more in some situations. 9x16 images can be really beautiful. I actually preferred the 9x16 crop of one of my most recent posts over the 4x5 crop. I could just see more of the sky. The sky was really dramatic, and I think it just added more to the frame. So I think there is a lot of potential here, and we can't just approach it with a negative mindset. But enough about my thoughts. I think I've talked more than enough in this video. I want to know what you guys think about this. I want to know what the photography community thinks about this update. Are you psyched about it? Are you nervous? Do you just not really care and you're just burnt out by Instagram? Do you hate how much Instagram confines us as artists? Where do you sit with all this? I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Really love hearing from you guys. But essentially, that's it for this video, guys. Just wanted to have a little conversation with you, talk about this new update, because like I said, I do think it's going to impact the community quite a bit. I'm kind of excited for it. I'm excited for a change, and let's ride this wave together and see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all your support on the channel, and I'll see you guys again very soon.